Okay, we are live with 5D All Day. I'm Danielle Kane. I am the host of this awesome podcast, and I have a very intimate session today with my good friend Michael here. So, welcome, Michael.
Hi.
I keep seeming to have some technical difficulties with this channel, so I apologize for people that might have tried to get on. But sometimes it's nice to have these one-on-one conversations,
Well, we're
and
hoping other people jump in because,
I'm hoping other people will jump in and know
yeah.
that, hey, we are live. If you are part of Spirit Calling Community, I have posted our Zoom link, the appropriate one, in the chats. So hopefully you get that. But otherwise, Michael and I are going to go ahead and chat for a little bit.
Well, luckily I did prepare somewhat before
Yeah.
this.
I
So,
always let it flow. Well, this is all about free flowing, actually. So
yeah.
you're prepared by
Well,
what God's given
I
you.
I was going into something I saw last night on um, Open Minds with Regina Meredith and
Okay.
Robert Eber Grant. Have
Okay.
you heard of Regina Meredith?
Oh, I love Regina Meredith. She's
Oh,
like my
we're
inspiration on why I wanted to do this.
Yeah, exactly. Same here.
Yes.
She's one of I'd like to love her too, but I want you to go or discuss what you had first. You're and I'm experiencing the same thing. We're having a
Yeah.
lot of difficulties with our health right now, and
Yes.
there's reasons, right?
Yeah,
So I want you to
absolutely.
go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, yeah, I would. I would. I got sick the week before Halloween for whatever's going on out there. I don't know if you've experienced any illnesses, but it was like your typical cold, but it was like a bad one and it laid me out for a couple days. And I lost my voice for about 5 days. I still don't have my full voice. So my throat chakra has definitely been under attack, I'd say, for about a month now. And my energy is just very low, mentally, physically, spiritually, I'd say. There's a lot of things going on with my son. I'd say on a spiritual level, a lot of um, behaviors that are stirring up, and I've had to, work with him when we're in this small homeschool collective program, and he's having difficulties
Yeah,
and which is also weighing on me. And I've noticed it in my physical activities that like I can barely make it through. Playing in my pickleball matches, like I got pulled into playing and I felt this extreme amount of pressure and I felt like I couldn't perform and I didn't do well actually. And I'm like, something's wrong with me. Something's clearly wrong with me because I feel like I am not able to sustain the capacity and I feel depressed. I do. I quite frankly feel like I would love to just take a pause for a while and just snuggle in bed. So I've had to deal with that, and I'm not a depressive person. I'm a very happy person and I'm a
yeah.
go-getter. I'm a generator. So I feel like I'm like under
I'm a
attack.
manifester, so don't stray me out here.
Okay. Okay. And some personal things like not to be I don't really care and too much information, but like this is the first time, and a lot of people are talking about premenopausal stuff, and some things have shifted that had never happened before. And I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what's happening other than could this be another dark night of the soul and a Kundalini rising? Is it just the three eye atlas getting closer? I don't know. Are we getting closer to something? So,
I think I think everyone's experiencing something.
mhm.
Um, I know that I'm being put to the test because I'm going through a flare up of one of my chronic illnesses, which is, I'll say it, it's psoriatic arthritis. It's
Mhm.
um, uh, I am getting a new medication next week, but again, I don't like the side effects. But given facing the pain,
Yeah.
like it's like sometimes you have to, and then I feel like a failure by taking it. Says, oh, I didn't do my spiritual work and didn't fend off uh, the pain by through spirituality. And I go,
Yeah.
oh, it's like I know all my chronic illnesses are from me not facing my life path and stuff like that. But I know it triggers these things, and then going, okay, I know one reason for the trigger, but the other reason for trigger, I think, is because of what's happening in the cosmos right now with the sun and the earth and everything else, and we're getting more frequencies coming in from outside the solar system, and it's basically pushing all our deep uh uh, dark stuff out. Whatever it has to
Yeah.
be. It's like okay, it's a big transition time right now with
Hmm.
11 with a new moon yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. The
And
11:11 portal opened too.
yeah, and you wouldn't believe that like it's my IC, you know you bet astrology, right? You know IC, my IC
No, what
is at
is that?
28. Okay, well I can't get into that too much, but it's one of your major points. Like it's your I meant to research that, but
It's
it, it
okay.
it's part of your major astrology. But
Okay.
my IC is right in the middle of everything right now. It's at
Okay.
28 degrees 28 degrees, 30 minutes of Leo of Scorpio. And
Hmm.
we had the sun, moon, Mercury, everything. Uh, everything else in there, like at that point, I go, is that supposed to be some significance? I've noticed some freaky things happening and strategic phone calls today and yesterday, and I go, it's kind of coincidence that that's happening. And then I'm reading, I'm reading Pamela's new book that she's in,
Yeah.
Awakened, right?
Yeah. How
So
is
I'm
it?
reading stuff. What's awesome? Like
It's
every
good.
story is different and like it's written in different stories. So every so if you read a book, it's always one flavor, right?
Right. Right. Right.
So,
It's or
but
the
when you
same
read this,
narrator.
yeah,
So
but when you read this book, you're always jumping into a different perspective, a different flavor or the different perspective, and and then as I'm reading the first four chapters, there's synchronicities to everything,
wow.
like to my life. Like I read Pamela's, and I read the second, and I said, "Oh my God!" Like then I read the third one, I said, "Oh my God."
Now, are you reading in order, or are you reading it just because
Oh,
it's
what I've been doing is like I've been reading one chapter in the morning. So normally I walk in the morning for exercise, but because my arthritis is flaring up, I'm scared I might slip on the ice or something like that. So
yeah.
I said, well, I'll do something else. I'll read the new book I just got last week, Awakened Minds. Is it Awakened Minds? Awakened Souls, whatever. Should know the name of it.
It's
Anyway,
okay.
uh so I'm reading a chapter a morning. So every chapter is only like 10 pages or 20 pages. It's very easy. So it takes me 15, 20 minutes as I'm eating my breakfast. I'm reading it. So I've been doing that the past 4 mornings. So
Mm,
that's the goal. And every morning I come to a new perspective and a new synchronicity to my life as I'm reading it.
that's
So
great.
they're mentioning stuff like about Athena and Isis and like today is a reference to Isis. And I had this little baby. I have a mother spider plant,
Okay. Yeah.
and it's spawning off all these baby spider plants. The first one that came off, I named it Isis
No
after
way.
the goddess Isis. And I'm reading the story today, and she's mentioning Isis, right?
That's
And so
funny.
yesterday, um, the person was mentioning a special book that was given to her, and she was inspired by this book. And I said, "Wait a minute, go back in my quantum healing hypnosis therapist last year gave me that book to read. I read like 16 pages. I
Mhm.
recognize this. Wait a minute. It's the very book she's talking about. Oh, I got to read the book now.
Yeah, right? It's like that little
And
nudge.
yeah, and when I'm reading that, uh, like I have like in my astrology, I have asteroid Dawn, and Dawn is the person of my QHHT therapist. That's her name. And Jupiter was on conjunct with Dawn yesterday when I was thinking when I came across that. And I go,
Mhm.
holy cow.
That's
But
so cool.
anyway,
Tell
but
me a
like
little.
yeah,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But like I'm like last night I woke up at 12:40 in the morning. So, and this week I've woken up. I've only had like maybe two solid nights of sleep the past week
Hmm.
because of the energies and the pains. So I'm putting heating pads and stuff like that. But as I'm doing it, I'm just I said, well, last year was having difficult sleeping. I started to meditate. That's when I started meditating, right? So a couple of nights ago, I'm meditating and I hear, I don't know if I was imagining this or not. I was sort of talking to somebody, and it's the Council of Nine. I go,
Hmm.
who's the Council of Nine? But that's there's another
I think I've
channel
heard
that
of the
does
Council of
count.
Nine, actually.
Yeah, she's an Indian
Was
First
she
Nation.
on? Was she on Gaia as well?
Yeah, yeah. I think so. Yeah, like she does the Council of Nine. I said I don't know if it's the same Council of Nine, but my like delving into channeling and stuff like that, or hearing spirit, or is very, very, very rudimentary and low. So it's like first level Council of Nine. Says, well, I put it in the spirit calling community. Says, I don't know if it's imagining this or not, but Council of Nine, I was asking a few questions, right?
Mhm.
So, um, so like, whenever I'm not sleeping well, not at night, I just meditate. It's almost like sleeping. So I'm not
Mhm.
too burnt out the next day. But
Good, good.
like it's what it's forced me to do. For example, I was part of a other service club, Rotary International, but I was with them for 9 years, a 9 year, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, there you go.
I decided to resign or go for a leave of absence
Hmm.
because when I first started, I had like the Venn diagram. You're almost the same, right? But
Hmm.
now that Venn diagram's like that. Like it's
Hmm.
just barely, and they're all like lockstep into programming. You see the programming because 5 years ago, when I was right in the middle of my part of the Rotary, it wasn't so out of phase. I was still in phase with the narrative and the program, societal narratives and stuff like that, and believing this and that. But then, as you see the veil lift, as you start to see the Wizard of Oz behind the veil.
Hmm.
Um, it's no, and I'm not just flaring from my psoriatic arthritis because of the shift. I think it's because um, I'm no longer in sync with that group, even though they're awesome people.
Yeah.
But they believe in service to others from a 3D perspective, and it's
Hmm.
a lot of sacrifice of
Yeah.
oneself for the external um, mission. It's
Hmm.
not internal. And that's where I was having a conflict because I can't I don't have the capacity to sacrifice like that anymore. I don't
Yeah.
I have to focus on my internal. It's the internal work that I'm doing now that's very important. I can't just keep sacrificing and like Mother Teresa or whatever like that. Back in the day when Mother Teresa, she would just give herself away. Did
Sure.
she did you did she actually do internal work? We don't know. Did she?
Wow.
Or did she constantly sacrifice and she gained energy from that?
Yeah.
Right. So like maybe like Gandhi and stuff like that. Did he do the internal work? Probably. But but I'm saying that maybe the paradigm of always sacrificing to others to fulfill yourself no longer works. And that's where the friction's happening with right now. I have to go internal to make sure that my internal vessel is good enough so I can do the external work and help others. I got to make sure I have a balanced flow. And for years, I was always flowing outwards, and now I have nothing left to give outwards. I have to go back in and make sure I'm fully strengthened inwards before I can uh, address or help others. I do want to help
That's
others,
a
right?
great point. That's such a
Yeah,
great point.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that I think I'm probably at that point where I have to start
yeah,
doing a lot more internal work. Kind of like you said, like we can all question what these people did if they even really existed, right? Like, how do we know that these characters are really who they say they are or not, right? I think a lot what I'm realizing in this reality is that every day I'm kind of blown away with like a lie or some kind of slip
yeah.
in the
Like,
matrix, right? Or like what we
yeah,
perceive to be true that we know happened, and then it's did someone go through timeline travel and just change the whole narrative? And then some of us in the collective
yeah.
remember, like the Mandela effect or whatever. Like I'm seeing more and
It's
more of that.
Berenstein Bears. It's not Berenstein, or
Right.
it's
I
not
mean, I
Berenstain
remember Luke is
Bears.
your father. I
Yeah,
remember that. Like, and I was
yeah.
not a Star Wars fan. I just remember that being one of the main,
I The reason why I remember the Berenstein Bears because I said, what kind of spelling is that?
yeah, it's a weird
If
spelling.
it was Stains the way it is now, I would have not questioned it as much. But I did question it. Why is it Steins? Like,
Yeah.
this was back in the 90s, so I remember doing
So there's
that.
just stuff like that where it's like you how do you ever fix the external? I don't know if you do. Like I think this is all meant for us to
Well,
process.
there's no fixing. It's all flow.
Right.
We manifest as we go along, and
Yeah.
and so they well, we know who they are. Maybe people don't know who they are, but it's been going along for since the crash of the divine feminine, right? So when the divine masculine comes in, becomes toxic. Nothing
Mhm.
against men. I'm a man, at least in this iteration. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, so, there's divine masculine, divine feminine, and what we've been experiencing the past 12, 13,000 years is toxic. It's just like ego, not a,
Yes.
and so what's coming in now is like a lot of people are afraid, but they shouldn't be afraid. There's bad divine feminine too, but what's coming in now is healthy divine feminine.
Yeah.
And then and at the same time, I've heard other people in the next few years, divine fat masculine will also come in at the same time, and then they'll spawn uh, a divine baby or something like that,
Mhm.
sort of synergy. But anyway, um, it's going to be a balance of both, and then like by 2032, it's going to be more obvious. But you need both, and society doesn't need what we're seeing right now, and they're just drastically trying to hang on, and they're just. And I says, really, people can't see that? Like, really? Don't you know they shouldn't put pesticides and everything? Like,
Yeah.
and doing that, and like we're eating like awful stuff, and then I'm putting up incandescent bulbs to cut down on the LEDs, and LEDs
That's perfect.
I
Can you
can't
wait? Can
find
you even access them though? That's what I'm saying.
hardly. And here's the thing: I've been buying incandescent bulbs, and they're just rubbish. I always say, okay, I'll say it's crap. It's just
Yeah.
BS. It's like
Yeah.
I put one in there in my ceiling, and it cost me $9 Canadian, well, probably like
Yeah.
650 American for, but like just a couple of years ago, or this year, you can buy incandescent bulbs at a regular store, $3 for four, three Canadian for four
Hmm.
60-watt bulbs. Now it costs $9 Canadian for two, and they don't last.
I
They
know.
last maybe 2 weeks. And it's like now we're stuck. You go into the store and you have all these LEDs, so you have to go to a hardware store and you find it. And we know that the blue light's bad for you because
Hmm.
we're all just basically light frequency and sound,
Hmm.
right? There's
Yeah.
no hardness here. This is just force fields holding me together. It's
Right.
hard light. It's hard light,
Isn't that so
right?
fascinating? I find that
Yeah.
so interesting. I
So if
really
you think
do.
your so if we think our sound frequencies are hard light, then you said that, well, maybe I can just like humming and stuff like that. It brings you back in
Yeah.
tune. So like there's
Yeah, I
and
should
like
probably do that.
yeah. So and then you start to see, well, you can see what they've been doing is like 432 is the best frequency, not 440, whatever it is, because that puts you out of alignment, out of tune. But the
Hmm.
432 hertz audio as much is your natural rhythm, natural. And then they took all the bells out like 100 years ago, like maybe 80 years ago, and that kept you in tune also.
Yeah.
So I'm just jumping all over the place, but
No, I love it. Hey,
yeah,
there is no right or wrong, you know. This is what's
yeah.
great. That I love that you get to free flow because we don't
Yeah.
always get to do that, you know?
So my theme this year is flow. So you can see, and then light and sound do flow. There's no jagged edges. Just like when you listen to CDs, they're ones
Hmm.
and zeros, and you listen to analog. There's a reason why analog sounds better. It's a smooth wave. It's not jagged, right?
Mm.
It's missing parts of the smooth flow, the sine wave or whatever you want to say it is. So,
Were you saying
uh,
you listen to CDs still?
well, I'm just saying that most stuff is probably uh, the CDs were ones and zeros,
Hmm.
and then when you capture sound waves onto a vinyl when it's still soft, it captures the actual smooth wave, and
Hmm.
that's why it's so much more pleasing to listen to it
Yeah.
as you listen to music. We finally have somebody else who can talk.
Yay. Hi, Rose. I'm sorry. We're trying to figure this out. Um, it's tough. There's a lot, which is exciting that Spirit Calling is so busy. And I'm sorry to complicate people's lives with this because we like to go live and have conversations, but this Zoom link has to change every time. So that seems to
Yeah.
become being a challenge. So sorry, everybody.
Can you hear us, Rose?
Um,
Yeah, yeah, we
Hi.
can hear you. We can hear
Hi.
you.
Hi.
Yeah.
Um, I thought I was just going to be on YouTube and listen. And then I saw you guys being lonely. I'm like, oh, I should come join.
I'm so glad you did. I think I've seen you pop on YouTube a bunch of times.
Yeah, because it's 12 o'clock my time,
Okay.
and then 2 o'clock is the Friday call, the
Yeah.
best that I look forward
Yeah.
to catching up with everybody. And I just wanted to grace you guys with my presence
Well, I'm so glad you did.
We want more
because,
dynamic here.
oh,
I actually
Michael,
like the fact that Michael can talk because, you always share so
oh,
much and it's nice to just let it rip sometimes.
Well,
Sometimes we don't get to all get to
I
share
I
something.
did I did go to broadcasting school and I did go and did have a radio show in university, so
See?
I
And you can
can
tell you have a nice radio voice. I like it.
not at the moment.
Danielle, you do too.
Oh,
I
thank you.
I I like
Yeah.
listening to the topics that, and they're not it's not a theme. It's just like, what are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
I
And
like the
some
flow.
Yeah, thank you. And I feel like it doesn't put any pressure on anybody. That's why Michael's like, I hope you're prepared. I'm like, I'm always prepared. I just let it all in, whatever is
So
supposed to happen. And I'm like, I honestly felt today was going to be a little different with the attendance, and I just had a feeling. So that's funny that it ended up being a little bit of a smaller group, but I'm never surprised. And sometimes it's meant to be that way.
Yeah. I just want to say that I hear you about your tiredness, and
yeah.
I'm sorry for you guys going through these things, and you just, ebb and flowing with it, so to speak. And that's not a word I generally use, but it's coming up a lot in my life, not in my current house, but through the different channeling messages from Pamela and the council, and just like, I'm just allowing. And so when I'm on YouTube Live, I'm just allowing to listen and not always have a lot to say,
Yeah.
I'm just learning because that's how it works, is
Yeah.
that you'll be sparked by somebody's conversation. And then what's funny about Michael is he's talking about ISIS, and I got this in San Diego, and I'm like,
I know.
I'm bringing ISIS to the conversation
That's so great.
Did
also.
you know? Did you know that before coming on? Did you bring ISIS?
I have it on. I was getting dressed while I
But you
was,
was it
because
spontaneous or you was hearing us I mentioned ISIS?
it was not spontaneous, but I was going to
Okay.
put it on today because I'm like,
Like I
well,
have
which
I
one
have
am I
chains
going to
on too.
pick?
If you're gonna show the chains, I'll show the chains here. So
You got the sword?
Athena, that's
Yeah.
Athena,
Yeah.
I love
and
it.
this is Archangel Michael with a dragon.
Yeah.
Before which is Thor, because before I went to San Diego, my friend Dawn had another QHHT person under, and she was asking questions about me going to San Diego, and she mentioned that I have a dragon named Thor. And that's how Thor. And then Dawn says she saw this online. She wanted me to get this, and Dawn also picked this one when we were doing grid work here in on where I'm located on for uh, Mary Magdalene and that. So I'm connected to like I was in this area like 12,000 years ago or something like that. On a mission. So like a lot of stuff like that. I'm like a Knights Templar and all that, and like and Dawn is connected to me that way. We're connected to Oak Island, and it's like and like I'm having spiritual adventures with Dawn. But also this year I've been have incredible connections to Egypt and Isis and Horus and Amun and all these Egyptian things are that just littered and synchronized into my astrology. And I was looking at those pendants in San Diego. I was very tempted to get one. And and because of my history there of this past year with phasing in with my astrology with Egypt and where I'm located right now, I won't go into it, but I'm saying there's a lot of synchronicities. I'm very connected to Orion. Um, it's I've done a little work today to prove that sort of thing. Uh, so where was I going with this? I don't know. Yeah. So
You were
when I
talking
was there, I
about
was
the pen. Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, your
So the
pendant.
guy that sold the pendant, he had a big connection to euros. Remember that?
Okay, so
Yeah.
I don't know if he had a big connection to me, but there was an exchange of energy that happened when I was standing in front of him. I was telling a story about, um, I was drawn to it because the stones. And then when I saw that the Ankh is Isis, I was like, that is really cool because um, I have a friend that's a nomad. Uh, she found out that she has an aspect of Isis and she's going to be channeling books. And while I was telling him this, now he's a really kind guy, but the only wavering that I had that I noticed was after the exchange of energy, I asked him, did you feel that? And he said, oh, yeah. And the whole time that he was doing that, he's like looking the room
Mhm.
and he wasn't focused on the conversation. And I thought that was odd, even though I was holding a couple different necklaces that I liked. I had a stronger connection with his wife, not that we had the exchange like her husband, but it was like, to me, it was a little odd because I like to have, if you're having a conversation, even though the whole room is noisy, he's like, to me, it felt like he was looking for his next customer. And the necklace was not cheap. And I was like, I walked away and then I went in for a workshop and then I came back and that necklace, I'm like, if that necklace is still there, I'm going to get it. And I just feel like something was off with him that day because it didn't feel right, him not having the eye contact. And
Yeah.
that's where you know that somebody's vested in you when they can, you know, cut out the noise and just
Dial in.
be, yeah. But
Hi, Tracy.
that didn't mean that his product isn't good because I loved it. And in fact, Amanda loved it. In fact, Amanda got her daughter one through the mail after the fact. And so would I spend that again? Mm, I might have to think about it because, you know, it was a weekend of that I did not intend to be buying stuff
Yeah.
like that.
You guys were synchronized quite a bit, so I was trusting your intuition, you and Amanda, with this guy, but he was a bit off. So it could have been that he was
Who is this
disingenuous
guy, by the way? Is he like
or
someone who sold uh, stones there, or was he
It
part
was
of?
yeah,
all
Oh,
it was all necklaces and they all had uh the Ankh of Isis on
okay.
it.
yeah,
Amanda's been wearing hers like just about every day. It's
yeah.
hard to get the clasp off with me, so I'm like, I'll wear it for a day and then I'll put it back in my selenite bowl, and then I'll pick it up another day.
Does
But
it assist you in any way? Like
I just love the
intensify?
feeling.
Does it
Yeah,
help your spiritual, you know, practice
I
amplify it in any way?
I don't want to get in deep like that because I don't feel that. I
Yeah.
just feel good wearing it.
Well, that's
Mhm.
good. All right.
It's not like
Yeah.
radiating or
Yeah.
anything, but on the San Diego trip, that was my very first retreat, and I was so excited to meet Pamela, Dina, Michael, Amanda. I met Brooke. Um,
How I
I
can't. I
met
wanted to hear
I
more
met
about
other
that
people.
trip.
Um,
Did you guys love it? Like, what? Tell me a little bit about it.
it was very good. On day one, Saturday. Um, now, not everybody resonates with everybody, okay?
Right, I get
Like,
that. Yeah,
but Ann Tucker and Pamela were the only two people I knew. And I was already following Ann Tucker before Spirit Calling.
yeah.
And to know that she was going to be there, I didn't realize that she was channeling. I heard one video before coming to San Diego that she was channeling create a mother creation.
That was a
Mm,
new thing for her, though.
And that was an amazing transmission that happened. I didn't realize that I was crying until the tears came flowing down my face.
wow.
I mean, Amanda and I were so connected to the speakers, the music that was being played by Amashar,
Yeah.
and um, and that was channeled music, by the way. And I need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah.
Sorry
Oh,
about that.
it's
We're
okay.
Um,
still going to disturb you, Rose, by talking to you.
um, uh, but I just feel like
How did you feel
there were,
leaving that event?
oh, like I said in a meeting multiple times, I felt like a lightning rod.
Yeah.
There was so many transmissions on day one, and then when the council came in with Pamela, they were so strong. I feel like I'm acclimating to them. I'm not getting so red in the face, and but that one was, she did something was different in the light language, and it was almost at the end. It felt like a chant that was
Mm,
going on, and
hmm
I'm like, I was so like, it was so hypnotic, you know?
hmm
And
You
I'm
talking about
like,
Pamela? Her light
yes.
language was different during San Diego, and it was an evolution, I would say,
So to
Evolution?
compare,
an evolution
Evolution.
of frequency from what she was doing before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if I can, because I'm in Mastermind, I'm a alumni. So from June, I've been in Mastermind, and she's been doing light language the whole time. What happened in San Diego was a little different. There was a little, that flare at the end didn't sound like things that I've heard, but in Mastermind, um, there's so much healing happening that all these light codes, and we're just like, I feel like a pincushion without hurting. Okay. It's
hmm
just, it's all happening, and some of the, like, I understand it to be, um, the light codes aren't all at once. They open up when they're supposed to.
yeah.
And so after a session, you allow for things to happen
hmm
in your body. And sometimes you don't even know it's happening. It's just happening. And then one day it's like, oh, that's different. Like um in my peripheral, like I'm like, am I seeing a shadow? And as soon as you turn your head, it's like, of course you're not seeing a shadow, because it's not meant to be seen. You know, it
Right.
could be just
Your
like,
your actual eyes are different on the
yeah.
sides, the way they're designed, and the front. So your side vision's more tuned to seeing spirit, and that's when you turn around, you don't see it.
And
It's yeah.
I thought just
that
they're just being really tricky and sneaky.
Well,
but
I think they were tricky and sneaky by designing our eyes like that. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny that you say that because I feel like that sometimes. Like when I least expect it, I'm like, what am I seeing? Is that a shadow or
Yeah. So if you
I
something?
can sort of
Contact
look at
lens?
it sideways, you might have a better chance of
well,
seeing it.
I think also your own spirits that you bring to meetings, or you just are around you. Sometimes I feel like it could be as just one of my spirit guides, you know, because when I've asked my guardian angel, are like, when I see something, I'm like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? You know, I feel like she's in my eyes, you know, without feeling her in my eyes. Like they're
Mhm.
seeing my, what I'm looking at, what I'm viewing on YouTube, and sometimes I do get reminders, like when you're holding your phone for too long, I'll get a bunch of tapping in that hand. And
Mm.
that's, to me, I'm taking that message as, oh, okay, Rose, you should get off the internet for a while and just do
For
your thing.
me, it'll stop working. My computer or whatever it is will just all of a sudden stop working, and then I know. okay, I'm not supposed to be doing this right now. Like if I'm thinking of buying something too, that's usually a lot.
Oh,
Should I buy this or not? The screen will go away. I'll go, okay, I'll wait. I'm not
that's amazing.
pacifying a wound, but yeah, I am.
Thank you so much for jumping on, by the way. I know we've been having some issues with logging in, so
Yeah,
thank you. I
Mine is
appreciate
yeah,
just I have a standing commitment every Wednesday, so I cannot join until halfway through.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. And I appreciate that. Like, this is a little bit smaller group, and I kind of like, even though Michael didn't realize it, I do like the intimate because then I feel like we can free flow. Although Rose, when I was telling earlier, like about what I was feeling, I tend to like to talk, but I've been like I swear it's like I'm another
yeah,
person. I would rather
yeah,
just listen and or just kind of hibernate right now. I don't know. And that's
Yeah,
not me. I am a very like I want to go talk to people. I want to see what's happening in the world. Like I'm high vibing and like right now I'm just like totally somewhere else.
you're hibernating instead
I
of
think
high
I'm
vibing.
hibernating and my body's like, stay there. You don't need any more, hunker down.
Yeah.
Maybe something big's happening. I don't know. I don't know what you guys are all feeling, but
I
but you were
definitely have a
asking,
lot of changes. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, you were asking
I
about San Diego and how we
Yeah.
felt, and 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 I'm realizing this month, it's a month and a half after it happened that like I'm a diabetic, so and my blood sugars aren't that bad, but when I went to San Diego, I wasn't really trying to stay on track, eat right, but I wasn't eating bad food. But my blood sugars were like um, into the normal zone for people without diabetes when I was at
So
San Diego.
cool. You need to go
And so
back.
I go, what the heck? What? How do I simulate that? And I said, wait a minute, wait.
Are you type
Okay,
1?
type 2.
Type 2.
But my soul path says I'm supposed to have joy in life. And what I don't have a lot of is joy. When I
Yeah.
was in San Diego, I had lots of joy because I was with people I like and
Yeah.
everybody else, right? And I made a correlation there. Says, wait a minute. I was really happy. I was having lots of fun, and my diabetes was non-existent at the
Yeah.
time. And I was eating pizzas and stuff like that, which would flare me um, with my psoriatic arthritis and my diabetes, right? But as I was eating, you know, stuff with sugar and stuff like that in it, so it would spike me. But then I realized, what the heck? Like I'm in stressful and going into airports and flying and blah blah blah, and trying to catch things and almost forgetting things and almost losing my
Mhm.
chain in San Diego, my
Pamela just
necklace,
said,
whatever.
just look at our pictures, Michael. So much joy in your
I
face.
know, I know. So that
Well,
picture,
you
that
know what Julia Cannon, she wrote Soul
Soul
Speak.
speak.
Yeah, and she talks
yeah,
about diabetes being lack of sweetness. I mean, this isn't just her, this is others. So like like you said, lack of joy.
yeah,
And like diabetes is like the
yeah.
symptoms
So
that follow.
like the past, well, I would say almost my entire life is a lot of not no joy.
Yeah.
So um so coming into the spirit community, I'm getting a lot more joy being around people like yourself. And just going to San Diego was the ultimate test that proved that that is the what I'm lacking, and I need to focus on that. So that's part of the reason why I'm phasing out of, like I said, Rotary,
Mhm.
because the joy isn't there, and I feel more like an employee,
Yeah.
and their viewpoints are askew because there's good people, like I said, but when they're stuck in their paradigm and will refuse to budge, despite the dancing elephants in front of them.
Mhm.
Hello, hello. This is what's really happening, and they don't do that. They don't. You look everywhere else but at the dancing elephant in front of them, right? Like really, like
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
You know, for example, 100% of carbon, 3% is man-made per year. What is that? So isn't that a big non sequitur in people's minds when they hear that? Don't the dots start to connect? Don't the dominoes start to fall and say, "Oh my God, this is all a lie."
Yeah.
3%.
I
but
know.
Michael, what I've found is just in my little friends group here is less is more because the more you try to explain your point of view,
Yeah.
then you're labeled,
Yeah.
and you feel like, well, that didn't go very well. And I just feel like maybe it's not maybe it's not for us to, at this moment, to try and uh convince somebody of it, because you're using your breath and your time and your energy, and you feel
Yeah.
less, you don't feel great after the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
To his point, he doesn't want to spend the time there anymore, and that's a
Yeah,
true
but here's the
Right.
thing. I
comment.
was like the well, I'm Canadian. So the Canadian election happened, right? And they're all going on about one perspective, and I have a different perspective. And I am biting my tongue every day saying I'm going to say this to prove my point and to prove them wrong. And then every time, for 4 weeks, I would not. I'd bite my tongue. And by the end of it, I said,
You had no
to the
tongue
president.
left.
Well,
I'm
I said
sorry.
I was about to quit, and my friend who was my who knew my father-in-law before he died in a different location. He was part of Rotary there, so he's like a friend of the family, right? He convinced me to stay, and so I did. And people settled down after the election and everything else, but still, I was sort of almost being ostracized, whether they were doing it, but I was also doing it to myself because I didn't want to hear the conversations because I know the conversation would be uh, uh, polarizing, just like in the States. They talk about
Mhm.
things you don't want to hear about. You might have a perspective, but you don't want to talk about it. So
Yeah.
when
Mhm.
you keep yourself in that environment and you're still being quiet, it feels isolating, and you
Yeah.
want to remove yourself, and it
Yeah.
brings down your energy. So this is what's happening to me. So that part of the reason why I'm having problems with my health. One reason is because of the normal activity with the spirit rising and the conjunction or the full moon and all that stuff. But the other thing is me being disingenuous to where I have to go, what
Hmm.
I need to do, what I have to focus on to keep my spirit rising. And I have to keep fine tuning it. That's what I have to do this year is keep fine tuning my spirit. And just by me, like right now, I'm flaring up. And so it's just my body telling me I need to fine tune more, listen, and go with the flow, and just don't lie to myself. If I'm lying to myself, I'm going to flare myself, right?
Mhm.
So me
Mhm.
staying there in that situation, I'm somewhat lying to myself that I can stay there and pretend that everything's okay and it's not okay.
And
So
they're not the
I
same frequency as you, and it's just
yeah.
gonna
So
be
yeah.
limiting.
So
And
like we're all like radio frequencies. Literally, we're all have our unique frequencies. So my frequency, it's still the same, but the resonation, like I said, I was a Venn diagram, we're over top, but now it's like this. We're just barely connecting now. And it's just too hard to come back this way. It's just easier just to drift away and do something else. Right. So,
Rose, do
and
you feel
that's, and
different?
that,
Rose looks like she wants to say something.
yeah,
Yeah, I
you go
have to
ahead.
say, because I'm feeling spirit, like I've been feeling spirit for well over a year, and I didn't used to feel everybody's vibration in the room. Of course, when Pamela comes in, or Dina or Carolyn, yeah, I felt that. But until people started raising their vibration, I started noticing when people are talking. And I have to point out to Michael that um, before San Diego, you weren't as strong. And then after San Diego, you raised your vibration big time. And I'm feeling that energy, like as you're talking, and you're so freaking high that you're like pulsing my head. And
Yeah.
so, to find just, Michael, for me to find little joys in dreary days here, I'm just going out, and I'm just giving gratitude to those trees that are standing here holding up and filtering the air for me to breathe. Those are my little like joys. And some days it's hard to find it in this house because there's not a lot of conversation. This is why I joined Spirit
Yeah.
Calling,
Yeah.
is to learn and to feel more and to understand where everybody is. And I just love that, everybody's on their own path, and just everybody saying little things helps tweak my practice, which I
Yeah,
don't have
practice.
a routine, and I just fill it in where I can. Not that I don't have time on my hands, but I'm choosing different things to allow in.
You're still young in this path right here, and the difference, everyone's capacity and volume is different. So, Rose, you have a lot of volume coming at you with no structure or capacity, and you're struggling to get that structure in. But you're amazing um, with the volume coming in. You're still maintaining a lot. Um, you're progressing fast and successfully from my perspective without the structure. So when you get your structure in, you're going to be even better, right? But I wouldn't like I that's what I see. So don't be too hard on yourself. You don't have a practice per se, right?
And I
No
Yeah,
feel that
structure.
from you. I just want to give
yeah,
you a huge hug, and make you stay there for a little bit.
No structure is a structure, and it sounds
yeah,
like
I'm
San
not,
Diego
yeah,
was really a good thing for both of you. I'm
yeah,
really,
yeah.
really
yeah.
Tracy,
psyched that you went.
what have you been up to? I would love to hear from you before we wrap up, but we have to have about 10 minutes left, so I want to hear from you a little bit.
Mm. Well, I did not go to San Diego.
Me neither. I
I
wish I
do
could.
list, I know. But I have been like you, chillaxing. I traveled in October. I got some sort of weird virus thing that just will not go away. It's
Me too.
three
Right
weeks now.
before Halloween.
Yeah. All
That's when I
right.
got
Were
sick.
we together?
I'm telling you, I'm feeling it, and I'm not the same human being since then.
I lost my voice for a good week. I still don't have it back.
Good.
And my allergies, it feels like it's allergies, but it's like I even went and got the throat swab, and they're like, yeah, we don't know what it is. And I went, spiritual ascension symptoms in my head, of course. But anyhow, so I've actually had some really exciting advancements with my own understanding, my own guides. One of the biggest thing, I would always beat myself up because I don't feel them like Rose. I don't know anything about my charts like Michael, and all of that. So I had to get over that. I had to get over beating myself up, which goes into play with the fixing your issues, your dark night of the soul, which come to find out, we all have them. So I'm still midway, I would say, working out all of that negative self-talk and the programming that I've had because of being a human and being born in a certain time frame. That being said, I did have a breakthrough a couple of days ago where I realized that one of the things that I do that I thought was just a trauma response actually is one of my greatest strengths if I
Mm.
view it in a different way. And that is my attention to detail and my
Mhm.
ability to connect dots when most people don't see the connection.
Mhm.
And it's really helped me like in my work and stuff. But in my personal life, it's been a bitch because I'm either that naggy wife or that mother that sees everything, and it's not really good for personal relationships. Well, what I came to realize is I get, I have claircognizant. I've never appreciated it because I didn't believe that I would just get thoughts in my head. But I am
Mhm.
solid in my knowledge now. I've gotten confirmation that that's exactly what I get. And when I realized the way that I treat other things, if I treat talking to my guides that way, and if that is like the way they communicate with to me, and I went, oh my God, is that how easy it is? And I, serious as a heart attack, I heard a voice right here that said, yeah. It was a male voice who whispered
Wow.
outside of my head, yeah. And for the first
I got
time,
chills just
hearing a
now.
voice
So cool.
didn't give me, I didn't get scared. Okay. I heard a voice in my head once back in 1987. when I was pregnant with my first son. I remember getting into bed, just that going to sleep, and all of a sudden I heard in my head somebody said Tracy, and it was a male's voice. And at that time, I just freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm schizophrenic. I'm hearing voices. And I shut it down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I've come to understand that I've shut it all down. I'm
Mhm.
now opening things. And, I just feel everything is moving right now for everybody, like people who are not spiritual or I didn't think was spiritual, all of a sudden are saying things like we say and I'm like, oh, are you one too?
Yeah, isn't it
Yay.
nice? You can like say
Yeah.
something, you're like you feel out, you
Yeah.
put like a little feeler out there, and then you make sure that like you're kind of someone on the same page, and then you're like, oh my God, I can just talk freely now. I think Michael,
Yeah.
that's what I'm waiting for that too. I'm waiting for the floodgate to be like, yay, we all are feeling the same way. We all see something, not the feeling the same way, because everyone's path is going to be different, but at least like you
Knowing.
you can a knowing, and you can just be yourself. Because a lot of times I think a lot of us are done faking this other neutral. I don't know. Like I can stay in neutral for a while, but it's nice to just kind of rip sometimes and just be like,
Yeah.
no judgments.
That's
Yeah.
why Friday and Saturdays are like I love
Just
it because that's my family. That's my
yeah,
family.
yeah. I'm so glad that you guys have come to this place and been able to open up and share. It's huge. It really is. It's nice to know that other people that you didn't think were where you were have started to question or to allow, what is to experience for them on their path. A lot of people are, their journey of waking up or awakening is,
Ooh,
we don't even know when that is. And that's, I think you were saying earlier, Rose, is that everyone wakes up when it's their time. And sometimes we have to be a little patient. And sometimes, like Michael said, it's meant to shift
Move you.
and move different
Yeah.
directions.
Yeah.
yeah. I think building upon that, Danielle,
Yeah.
is that it's so like when new woos come in, not saying that they're new to being a woo, but new to spirit calling, um, I feel like somebody will say, but I don't do this and I don't do that. I don't feel this or I don't feel that. The only thing that I do is because Pamela, via the Great Council of Light, is be the observer and just pay
Mhm.
attention, and it will come to me where um just tweaking the conversation just a little bit or saying, have you tried this? And hearing them talk about their day and how frustrated they got because somebody pulled out in front of them, and I'm like, what if that was, I'll say, what if that was your guides, your angels slowing you down to
Absolutely.
miss something up above, further up the road. Maybe it's not a mile, but just slowing you down just a little bit because somebody's in a hurry because they didn't get up. There's no sense getting all like pissy and screwing up your whole day, even though it could have missed you that much or just went across 3 lanes. It's like just being the observer in that is
Yeah.
like having a different perspective. And I'm not like, they're not giving me all these things. I'm hearing from other conversations what people are saying or doing or whatnot. And that freaking ego, I didn't realize how bad my ego was until I picked up Eckhart Tolle. And I'm like, all these scenarios, I'm like, holy crap, he's talking about me and my
Mhm.
practice and what I'm doing. And I'm like, I need to check those, and
Yeah.
I'm not perfect, I still have moments. And I'm like, and then I catch myself after the fact. I'm like, I think that could have gone a little bit better. I'm not beating myself up. And Tracy, I'm so happy because you bring so much to this spirit calling that it's like, you having these little breakthroughs and you talking about your little ET visit, um, I am just like, I want that.
Yeah.
I want that.
It's
And
it's scary.
Yeah, I wanted
Um,
that since the 70s.
and I've said that too. I'm like, I feel a little nervous about if, not if, but when this does have it happen. And I'm like, okay, please don't, I don't want to come around the corner and like, bam, there you are, you
Yeah.
know,
I'm
kind of,
so ready for it to break open. I'm so impatient. I'm like, let's go. You know?
I
I'm just like happy for
yeah,
you,
the
all of you.
a bit of advice about connecting with ETs or even 3i Atlas. I heard it because I there was a channel panel in West Virginia and I did the online. And so I did listen to different channelers, and one of them was saying that the best way to connect is to have the understanding that they actually are future versions of us,
Yeah.
and to start thinking of they are we and we are them, and
Hmm.
not aliens, but rather a different expression of our own consciousness because time and space only exist here in 3D.
Yeah.
And that is so hard to understand. But when you can just start going, oh, well, it's really nothing to be afraid of. And really, I think that my ET experience was meant to jar me. It was
Hmm.
the most frightening thing in my life, and I lived, and they didn't kill me. So what am I afraid of? Besides, if I die, I return to spirit, right?
Hmm.
I
Right.
don't die. We are eternal.
Like Jumanji,
So,
you just get shot back down again and keep playing
right.
in the game.
But like you say, if things start popping up or you start hearing voices, that could be scary. But now I've kind of come to peace with my little visit in the middle of the night by the galactic visitors. That right now to me means that was the most scariest thing on earth and I survived it. So now I am free to not be afraid to let other things like voices
Yeah.
and visions. I had a awake vision too, about 3 weeks ago, my first awake
Mm.
one, where I
Mm.
was awake and I saw a vision. So that was cool
Yeah.
too.
That is really cool.
So yeah, so we need to stop using the term aliens, I think, and kind of just go with our future selves.
I just want to stop the I don't know, the fake narrative.
Oh,
I'm
that's
so
part of
ready for like whatever
Yeah.
it is. I know not everybody is, but I'm just like everybody has to see the inconsistencies that's happening. I mean, in media,
yes,
and I'm
yeah.
just like, come on. And I think that's why, like you said earlier, Rose, I am the observer. I don't really have any gifts other than when I was doing hypnosis. I loved to time travel. It was fun, and I was very good at getting that hypnotic voice and getting someone relaxed. And I just loved that, But part of me was like, I want to know the truth. I want to know what's really happening here in this game that we're playing.
Yeah.
And I don't want the masks on, or I don't want my, the blindfolds. I want it. I want it so badly to happen for whoever, like for all of us. And then I feel like it's just constantly this buildup of like stories after on top of stories and
Yeah.
ah,
It's like when the one thing though, in a world full of lies,
yeah,
when you do hear the truth, it rings true like a bell.
totally. Absolutely.
And I think that's the benefit of living in the shit show that we
Right.
got
And I guess
going
maybe I
on
have to
right
accept that for my own, be like, at least I know what that is versus like your neighbor knowing it.
That's
Yeah.
called the universal truth.
Yeah.
Are you,
Yeah.
are you, Danielle, saying that, well, we all know that you're QHHT,
Yeah.
um, but you don't feel spirit?
What do you mean as far as that? Oh,
Like,
I feel spirit all the time, but I don't
okay,
have I allow I guess if I were to look at human design, I know when I'm getting the call. I actually got the call to pause doing quantum healing hypnosis
Are you
in,
splenic?
in another
You're are you
uh,
splenic your decisions or as in
so
intuition?
yes. I think so. What's the other one?
I I don't
I
know.
don't
I'm
remember.
saying that every human design has a different way of
Mine's always like my gut intuition.
that's your gut. That's splenic,
Yeah, splenic.
right?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know
Oh,
you're
the
you
like
know
other.
it.
me.
I want to do more
I
research on
didn't
that
know
because
that
I
word.
really like human design. I would
Yeah,
like to
I
get
thought it
more.
was Canadian.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But what I'm saying is
Hey,
no, spirit actually, and that was really
Sorry.
hard. That was really hard because I just knew I was meant to do other things. Like I'm a homeschooler. I'm actually just closing up a business. There's a lot of big things happening in my life right now anyway. But for doing hypnosis, it was not my calling anymore at the moment. And that was kind of a hard thing to face. But I got the call that and I was doing other practices. I was doing another practice of like chakra clearing and aura sealing, and it was a deeper uh it was on the front end of the practice that was more than QHHT, which I feel like is completely necessary with where we are in our polarity and entities and things like that. Um, but I just got a message that, there's other things that I have to be doing. So I had to kind of dial in and be very grounded. And that was not how I ever lived my life. I lived very much outside of my body for the most of my time. So
Okay.
it's staying grounded. And I think we're going to go in the jungle in Brazil in June, and that's kind of exciting and nerve-wracking. And I might be doing ayahuasca for the first time. My my
Ooh,
husband
cool.
Okay.
my husband does ceremonies all the time. He works a lot with the Native American church, and
Wow.
very very deeply connected. Although I'm kind of on the other side where I was doing a lot of quantum healing and stuff. But I think the merge is happening. For me, it's again this observer grounded waiting for that call. Like there's nothing else I can do right now other than hold space and allow it to come through. That's what I'm getting.
Nice.
Yeah, that is great, because the only reason I asked that is because one of our members, Billy,
No,
she's
Billy.
a QHHT1,
Yes.
and she made a contract that she would not be able to be hypnotized, uh, go under hypnosis, or um, feel or whatnot. Her role is to do the QHHT.
So for her not to get a hypnosis session herself, you said?
That's correct.
And who
But
did
she's
you?
asked all the questions to her friends, so
Yeah.
she knows there's some guardian that she has. So I really am fascinated. I want to know more. And like, sometimes I understand contracts can be broken, but I don't
Absolutely.
know how, you know, if there was something to learn about it more and help facilitate, put that
Yeah.
out to the universe so other people can know, like, maybe you made a bad decision, when you were saying, yeah, I'll be this bad person for you or
Yeah.
whatnot. I'd like to know more about people that have been able to change their contract. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that everybody should do it. I
Yeah.
just want to know, has it been done? And I want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm so curious too. Sorry, real quick, Michael, just about
No,
again,
no,
I'm
no,
going back to
I'm
human
just gonna
design.
add that. Yeah. Yeah.
Going
Go
back to
ahead.
human design, because I really do need to know more about it. Other than the little things that I know about it, is like I have to experiment everything, right? Even
Yeah.
if I'm not going to be the expert in it, even if I'm not going to, even if it's not my sole purpose, I will go through from beginning to end
Yeah.
and learn it. And that's what I did with QHHT, and it led me to another hypnotherapy that required a lot more on the front end to protect those sessions. Even though every session that I had in QHHT was safe, nothing, I never ever had like an entity come through, although that has happened. But through my practice, you'll find people come through, and I had my own podcast before this where I started learning more from people. And then I got
Hey,
curious, and then I started to dive deeper into why
I,
you should be getting hypnosis if you're a hypnotherapist to clear yourself as well.
Yeah.
I have to say goodbye. I
Okay.
have to
Yes.
say goodbye to my husband before he leaves the house.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll
Wrap up
see you
too.
guys
Thank you
soon,
so much,
maybe.
Rose, for joining us.
Thanks,
Bye.
Rose.
Thank you.
Bye. And we'll wrap up too, guys.
Yeah.
Just for me saying
Good
that.
time.
Everybody has their own path. Like I said, there was this big issue with, believe it or not, some different hypnotherapy techniques. And this was another thing that had a hard time because I went into it wanting to and that's how I had my awakening, right? My awakening journey was through QHHT, and here you now find polarity among different hypnotherapy practices on we don't believe this, we don't believe that, and that was the whole spiritual community. I'm like, how are we not in belief of one another? We're like, new age spirituality. And then I realized that there were people that didn't like new age that were spiritual, and so then I had to really go within, Michael, and realize that this is my own path, and then I have to listen to my own call.
Yeah.
So whatever
That's the
people have,
key.
hmm and your own
Yeah.
discernment of
Yeah.
what is best for
You
you.
could be
So
the only person in the world thinking it, but it's the right thing for you, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I loved Dolores Cannon, but then I had struggles with what people were saying. Again, just the belief system in certain groups are different, and you just have to be open.
But things change.
Hmm.
Everything you say, every time you say something, everything you do something, the history changes. I went in to see 2 years ago um a clairvoyant person about talking to my wife and stuff like that. And she says, "Do you want to hear your future?" I says, "Well, that's kind of pointless because it'll change."
Right. You decide.
Yeah, it's never
It's
static.
always
It's
a
fluid.
probability.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. What do you think about palm reading? Do you feel like that is pretty concrete?
Oh,
Or,
yeah. I did get into palm readings a bit, but like I have M on this hand and
yeah,
M on that hand, and I got the moon thing going on, and I forget about that modality, but I like last year it was diving into like human design and stuff like that in astrology,
yeah,
and I think these spontaneous interests sort of help your future goals, and that's where I am this
yeah.
year, where those spontaneous interests are now feeding my journey now. So.
That's
Yeah, just
great.
go with the flow and go with what your urges are, because those are your hints of where you have to go.
Yeah,
Follow your passion.
Yeah,
right. Well, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for the great conversation. I always enjoy it, and we'll hopefully get this this link set up for next month. I don't know if I should just put it out there ahead of time.
The link
Um,
that when I clicked on it, it said it was scheduled for October 24th.
right. That's what
yeah,
Michael said.
yeah.
It's not properly set up for some reason. I don't know why. I don't do it, but we
Uh-huh.
get a new link every time because this stays within YouTube. It claims its link if you go live. And so I have to reschedule another one every month. And I know it's a hard task when people are doing multiple things. And it's supposed to be auto set. So it's like it already has set what I'm doing next month, but the link is wrong right now. And so until
Yeah.
someone goes and edits it, it doesn't get right. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. But I thank you guys for being here anyway. And I know you're going to enjoy your call in a few minutes, right? I might be able to pop in
45.
45 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
to probably try to sneak on again.
Yeah.
Um, and maybe I want to listen in.
It's always fun to hear everybody's stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. Awesome. Well, and I want to thank anyone who is watching again. If you're interested in joining these special private groups that meet on spirit-calling.com, there's a 7-day free trial. And I think you'll really enjoy it if you connected with or resonated with some of the things that we said today. So thank you again, and we'll see you next month.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.